Broncos country, what's going on? Hope you guys are having a wonderful Saturday. I'm coming here with a live preview for Broncos Falcons tomorrow at 2 o'clock Mountain Time. And while this technically isn't a must win for the Denver Broncos this week when it comes to the wild card playoffs and all that, you never want to see the Broncos drop 3 games straight. I think that this game has a lot of implications for just confidence moving forward. Hopefully, getting some strong momentum. And after being on a 2 game losing streak and how we lost last week at the end of the game, I would categorize this as a must win game. You want to bounce back and have a strong performance. And so I'm going to get into breaking down this matchup, talking about some keys to victory. Of course, y'all subscribe, smash that like, and then come in the comments. Let's have a conversation. And at the end, I will get to some of the Pro Football Focus stuff. I know that y'all have wanted that from this week, and so I'll cover that as well. So yeah, Landon Lee, yeah, we got to play Justin Simmons. He's coming back into town, and yeah, hopefully we can get the best of that matchup. But yeah, it's going to be weird seeing him in a Falcons jersey. That is absolutely the case. Now, when it comes to first key to victory, obviously it starts with stopping this really good Falcons offense. They don't have a spectacular defense, but this is a team, man, that can really put up the points. See right here, Falcons, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth in the NFL, 375 yards per game. They average 125 on the ground and 250 through the air, averaging just a notch under 24 points per game. While the Broncos offense is getting better, they don't necessarily have the stats to show it, averaging 19.7 points a game right now. Hopefully we can get over 200 yards of passing on average by the end of the game or by the end of the season. And I think that this Falcons defense is something that the Broncos can target, even though they got in the past game, even though they got Justin Simmons. I think they got 3 corners. We'll go through the injury report. They got 3 corners that are going to be out for this game. And so this is going to be a good matchup for Bo Nix to take advantage of the deficiencies in the secondary. And hopefully Audric Estime can build on his strong performance last week. Again, I think 3.8 yards per carry against the Chiefs, but they're an elite defense, and you want to see the Broncos have success on the ground game against this Falcons defense. Again, Broncos still have one of the best defenses in the NFL, no doubt about it, averaging 17.7 points per game, 103 yards on the ground, and 192 yards through the air. And then when you scroll on down here to the Falcons, they're giving up almost 24 points per game. They're giving up 130 on the ground and 223 yards through the air. Again, probably in the bottom third when it comes to total defense. They're a below average defense, giving up 353 yards per game. Now, there's going to be guys that we need to concentrate on the offense to stop. First, it starts with Kirk Cousins. He's been fantastic this year. 2,600 yards on 68% completion percentage, 17 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. And this is something to take note of, 20 sacks on the year. Can our pass rush take advantage of what I think is a vulnerable Falcons offensive line? I think so. I think that we have really seen Nick Bonito come along this season. And I think, yeah, the stats might not show it. I don't know. Maybe that was his best game in terms of sacks last week, but he was just a menace coming off that edge against Kansas City last week. I think that was, if not his best performance pass rushing, one of his best of his young career so far. And Kirk Cousins, still coming off of that Achilles injury, has not been super mobile. And so this is also why you see probably the sack total a little bit higher than what you've seen throughout his career, of course, at Minnesota prior to this. And I think the key is just going to be getting to him and, of course, stopping their fantastic running back duo of Bijan Robinson, top 10 pick, couple of years back, and Tyler Algier, I think a fifth or sixth round gem that they found out of BYU. And both these guys are great, averaging 5 yards and 4.8 yards per carry, respectively. They've already combined for over 1,200 yards on the ground. They're gonna be missing Darnell Mooney, which is big, but they still have plenty of weapons to throw to. Drake London, Kyle Pitts, these guys are going to get the majority of attention, but Ray McLeod has had one of his better years of his NFL career. And Kaderil Hodge, a guy that scored, I believe, a game-winning touchdown for them earlier this year. He's been nice in a reserve role, but it's really going to come down to stopping Kyle Pitts, stopping Drake London. And I think we got the secondary to do it with Riley Moss, Pat Surtain, Jaquan McMillan and company, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at just our offense right now, where we're at, kind of guys that I could see having a good game here against the Falcons. Obviously, it's going to start with our running game right now. We still don't want to have Bo Nix throwing 50 passes or anything like that. Audric Estime had a good game last week on the season, averaging 5.1 yards per rush, which outside of Tyler Bidet, hope he's recovering well from that back injury. Essentially, Audric Estime has been giving us the most efficient game on the ground from the running back perspective. And I would love to see him get his first NFL career touchdown this week. I think that this is a week where you could expect that. I could see Audric Estime as being that breakout player. Again, they are averaging like 120 something yards, I think it was, on the ground as a defense. And so this is going to be a defense that we should be able to take advantage of in the run game. No doubt about it. Now, Bo Nix has been great. Almost. He should pass 2,000 passing yards so far this season and continue to raise that completion percentage. I could see this being the 300-yard passing game that he hasn't had yet. Again, against this vulnerable Falcons defense, I think that if there's any week to put him on the Offensive Rookie of the Year favorite list, I think it's this game. Going up against a good Falcons team. I believe they're 5-4, maybe 6-4. I'm trying to remember if I guess they've had their bye week. So yeah, both of these teams right in the middle of the playoff race. It's going to be important for the Broncos to get this in order to distance themselves from the rest of the pack in the wild card. But dropping this game does not mean it's the end of the world. But I think if you want the Broncos to get 10 wins, winning this game, again, I said going 1-2 in this 3-game stretch against the Ravens, Chiefs, and Falcons, that's just what needed to happen. We got to win this game. Courtland Sutton has to be on his game. He's had a great year so far. He might even reach, guys, 1,000 yards this year. But we can't allow any drop passes. Devon Vele is a guy that I could see having a very nice game as well. We really see him coming around. And as long as we continue to involve the tight ends, Adam Troutman, Lucas Kroll, these guys, I think that bodes well for the success of our offense throughout the game. No doubt about it. Now, if we're willing to take a look at some of the PFF stuff, where do the Atlanta Falcons kind of rank, for instance, in run defense according to PFF? We can go down here and find where they rank right now in run defense grade, around 17th, so around average for this grade. If you want to get to the pass rush, you got to scroll down all the way to 31st, the grade of 53.8. Our offensive line is one of our strengths, and this needs to be a game where we keep Bo upright, where we give him time in the pocket. Bo Nix, I think, took some strides last week in just his pocket presence and being able to step up and throw. He did some of that on the run, obviously, a lot of his throws from stepping up within the pocket, but would love for him to have some really nice, strong dropbacks in once he takes the snap, and then climbing the pocket very confidently and then delivering that ball on time and in the right spot for first downs. That's what you want to see. And then in terms of coverage grade, Falcons, again, they have a good secondary, but a lot of their guys are out right now. Top 10, number 7 right now in coverage grade. Hey, Broncos not looking too bad either right there at 71.9, ninth in the NFL. And then when you want to take a look at the Broncos, 8th in pass rush grade, and let's see, 5th in run defense. Total defensive grade, Broncos 6th in the NFL. You got to go down quite a bit to find the Falcons. Yeah, they're at 17. So this is going to be a matchup in which I think you have a good offense with the Falcons going up against an elite defense, and you have statistically a bad offense, but an offense I think that's starting to turn the corner a little bit, but nonetheless, it's a bad offense going up against a bad defense. And this should make for an entertaining game, I think. I think that this is going to be a close game. I think what the line is around like -2.5 to the Broncos or -2 to the Broncos. You get 3 for being at home. So this is going to be a tight game, I think. Would I love to see a blowout? Absolutely. But I'm not expecting that against a really good Atlanta Falcons team. And yeah, both of these teams need wins. Falcons sitting at 6-4, the Broncos sitting at 5-5, and it's time to go get that 6th win, baby. So before I wrap it up, guys, wanted to go ahead and take us through some of the grades from last week. I know that some of y'all were asking for that, and run defense was fantastic, shutting down the Chiefs 80.5. We were really, really good in that respect. Pass blocking as a unit, 69.9. I thought we did a great job of keeping Bo Nix upright. But, of course, special teams, again, in hindsight, I don't know why you kicked that from the right hash mark. But anyways, we got to move on. And it's very important for this locker room to move on. It seems like listening to, like, Andrew Mason and Cecil Lammey on Orange and Blue today, they were talking about, like, hey, this team defends each other. They come together. This has been something that has brought the team together rather than fragmented the locker room. And I mean, just listen to Bo Nix's comments on Alex Forsyth earlier this week. I mean, that was great. And it's great to see teammates pick each other up. We're a better team when everybody picks each other up, and we need Alex Forsyth to rebound. That's what we need. We need to be good on special teams. We have to win the turnover battle against an explosive offense like Atlanta, no doubt about it. But I know you guys wanted to see some of this. Luke Wattenberg returning last week was really huge. Pass block grade of 83.5. I think we could all see the difference with him in the lineup compared to Alex Forsyth, and that was great. Audric Estime, nice little pass blocking grade as well, which is good. In the run, not as good in terms of grade. Luke Wattenberg was our highest graded offensive lineman against the run. And that really says a lot because he was going after Chris Jones, going up against him a lot. And so that's going to be something that's really important in this game, is that we're able to establish a solid run game with Luke Wattenberg back. I mean, that really is the key. And I think that Luke Wattenberg, guys, be a little bit patient. I know our center play hasn't been great. I think we can all say that Wattenberg's been better than Forsyth, but Wattenberg still does leave some to be desired. But I really do think that he's going to take another big leap next year as well in his development. And so let's continue to remain patient. But I think it's very crucial for us to have a good running game. Not Forsyth, Wattenberg really helps with that. Now, let's go to the rushing. This was great again. Audric Estime had some big time first down runs. He had one over 10 yards or at 10 yards, which is great, and ran for 3 first downs. We need to run it for more first downs with Audric Estime. I loved how Marvin Mims was used in this game against the Falcons. Hopefully, we can continue to see that usage of just getting him the ball very quickly. Let's not depend on him to run these long developing routes because he just can't run them well at this point. So let's not ask him to do things right now that he's not very good at. Let's have Devon Vele do that, for instance. So, and again, with our defense against the Chiefs, we just saw a dominant performance. This defensive line really needs to eat in both the run and pass. John Franklin Myers was huge. 3 pressures, a sack. DJ Jones was all over the place. No doubt about it. Nick Bonino, 6 pressures and a sack, 2 hits, 3 hurries. Like I said, I thought that was one of his best games. And Jonathan Cooper, 5 or 6 total tackles, 2 pressures and a sack. That was really great. And even Dodre Tillman, stepping up as our 4th edge, getting a couple pressures against Kansas City. So it's going to be imperative for those guys, for Zach Allen to really step up. And somebody such as Justin Sternad, had an okay game against the Chiefs. Grade of 59 grade in coverage. Beat a couple times, if I remember correctly, going to some of the tight ends. But Sternad's going to be very important in our safeties for covering Kyle Pitts. This guy's an absolute weapon. Hopefully PJ Locke is going to be locked in for this game and can really help out with that, along with Brandon Jones. But I think that really is the key to the game is, can we stop Kyle Pitts? I have no doubt that Pat Surtain's going to do his thing, locking up Drake London. But those tight ends are always an X factor for us, right? So that's going to be really important to see how our defense handles some of the receiving weapons that Atlanta has. So those are my keys to the game, y'all. Again, I feel like the Broncos should be able to come in to Denver, home crowd, get their momentum back, get their mojo back. We got the no-fly zone returning. We got Aqib Talib. He's going to be doing the flag plant in the field. That's going to be beautiful. We have to ball out when, at least in my lifetime, the 2015 Denver Broncos defense is the best that I've ever watched. We gotta get a dub for them, right? And surely Peyton Manning's going to be there. So we got to do our thing, Broncos, no doubt about it. But I do feel confident going into this game. Let's take a look at the injury report. And yeah, as I pull this up, y'all don't forget, smash that like, subscribe. We're on our way to 2,000, which is wonderful. So it's looking like we're going to get PJ Locke. He's going to play, which is great. Josh Reynolds still working his way back from his injuries. Drew Sanders out. De'Aaron Turner-Yell out. Zach Allen will play. And Brandon Jones looks to be questionable. So, please, God, please play Brandon Jones. I don't want the Devin Key experience this quickly. I don't want that. As you can see, extensive injury report for Atlanta, but just some things to take note of here. Mike Hughes, cornerback, out. DJ Bertrand, linebacker, out. Troy Anderson, linebacker, out. D. Alford, cornerback, out. Antonio Hamilton, out, cornerback. James Smith-Williams, tibia, out. Charlie Werner, tight end, out. Taquan Graham, defensive tackle, out. And I think Darnell Mooney, if I remember correctly, he is going to be out for this game. I guess he's a true questionable, but it would just really surprise me if he plays with having an Achilles injury. You cannot risk that. We should have all learned from Kevin Durant a little while back that, hey, if you got some stuff going on there or with the calf, it's better just to wait it out rather than come back early. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to see a tear happen. For somebody who relies on his speed so much, like Darnell Mooney and his quickness, you don't want to risk rupturing that, tearing that, anything like that. So maybe the Broncos catch a break with him not playing. I thought that he was officially ruled out, but this report reflects otherwise. So, sweet. We got 34 people in here. Just want to say hello to everybody. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Anthony, it's Bijan. NFC South's the worst division. The NFC South sucks. We're 3-0. We got to take care of it. But yeah, taking care of Bijan Robinson is going to be absolutely crucial. Great running back. What's I think a really good omen for the Broncos defense is that I think that they were very good against the Chiefs yesterday. And yeah, if we can make them one dimensional, that's going to be key. Stop the run, get to the passer, right? None of this is rocket science. And I think if the Broncos just play really solid complementary football and have some extended drives where they're able to win the time possession, you're going to see the Broncos get the victory. Now, the X factor is going to be special teams, man. Special teams has to bounce back with an offense like the Falcons has. You cannot risk leaving points off the board. Again, I think that this is going to be a close game, but we should go in and get this dub that should propel us towards securing a wild card spot down the line. I think this is a statement game for a young Broncos team to show that they can rebound after a really tough loss. And so it was nice to see them rebound against getting their butt whooped in Baltimore, but we didn't finish the job. We let ourselves go for 1 second, and that came to bite us in the butt. Let's be the better team for all 60 minutes in this game, right, guys? So, all right. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, but Big Bronco E, Anthony, I appreciate you guys tuning in, Landon Lee as well. I'll be here live with Let's Talk Broncos after the game with Zach Seegers to talk about what the Broncos did and hopefully getting a victory, getting back to a winning record at 6-5. Let's see it. Broncos country. Have a great evening. I'll see you tomorrow. Go Broncos.